Let me hit record. Welcome to New Moon Planning, March 9th. This is our new moon in Aquarius. So there was some question that I even had lingering around because obviously Tropical is saying our new moon is in the wonderful Pisces. However, when I looked into it, it is indeed Aquarius. It happens at 2:22 a.m. Our time, Pacific, and it is at the very, very, very end of Pisces. So our new moon is in Pisces. This is actually a super moon. So before everybody's like, oh, what's going on, super moon? All a super moon means is that it is closest to Earth. So in its elliptical, in its rotation around the Earth, right? Because it's not like a straight circle. It goes like in an elliptical, right? So in some points it is closer to the Earth, and in some points it is further away from the Earth. So when the moon is closer to the Earth, what would you anticipate that this energy would be? You can unmute. If the moon is closer, how would the energy be? Would it be more intense, or would it be more like distant?
I'm going to say more intense.
More intense. Yeah, exactly. So supermoon, all supermoon is that it's closer to the Earth. So it's going to appear in our sky much bigger than it normally does. And the intensity of the energy will be amplified. So you may already be entering into this feeling of this Pisces. I'm already feeling Pisces energy. I've been really easily activating intuitive hits like no other. It's just I've just been hitting them a lot more than normal. And it's that energy, right? So even these current, we're currently in Aquarius. No, are we in Aquarius right now? We might have moved. Let me check. We are currently in, let's go present time. Oh, we're presently in Capricorn. Oh yeah, that's right. We have the stellium in Capricorn. So you may be even feeling this Capricorn energy a little bit more intensely, right? As we're going through this rest of this week, because we'll hit Aquarius, we'll hit Capricorn, and then we'll hit Aquarius, right? And then we'll hit Pisces. So you're going to feel even that Pisces energy on the end, we're going to feel, right? Because the moon is still very close to the Earth. So the next week or so, you might feel the energy more intensely, no matter what zodiac sign it is. But the new moon for sure in Aquarius, you're going to feel. So in fact, it is in Aquarius. So if there's any question, it's in Aquarius. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what this moon is all about, and then we'll do some intention setting. I'm actually going to go through, since we are now learning how to read our charts. I hope you guys have been practicing and studying. We're going to look at this new moon chart. So I'm just going to tell you some things about, this moon, and then we're going to actually look at the chart and kind of get some ideas about it as well. Since we're now there and we can do it, that's so exciting. Okay. And we'll go through our calendar for the month. We'll talk about that. That's kind of what I have intentions for. And then we'll do our intention setting. Yeah, you guys good with that? Okay, so let's talk about Aquarius. So theme of Aquarius, you guys know these now. So tell me, what is Aquarius about? And for those of you catching the replay, I can't hear you, but you can still say it. The more we put this into practice, the more we're going to understand it. Drea, what's Aquarius? Sign of Aquarius. Tell me about it.
I'm doing this with no notes in front of me. I need my binder. I'm like, where's my binder?
Good. This is good. It's going to trust your intuition. We just cleared everything, right? Yeah. Trust your intuition. What is Aquarius about? Where is it on the chart, on the natal chart? Think about it.
So it is in the 11th house.
Yes.
And Oh, you put me on the spot. I don't know why I'm having a blank with Aquarius.
That's okay. What's the 11th house about?
Oh my goodness. I'm
I'll
drawing
give
a
you some
blank.
clues. 10th
Yes,
house
please.
is about career and recognition. 12th house is subconscious because that's Pisces,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So what's 11th?
So wait, you just said, okay, so the 10th house is about career. Is that what you just said?
Mhm.
Okay.
Think about the life,
Think about the what?
the circle of life.
Yes. That was
Death.
not a good hint for me.
Oh.
Yeah, help me out, Monique. I'm drowning.
Monique, come on, you got this too. You know it. What do you got? What do you want to
Death.
add?
It's death.
Ooh, very close. No.
Rebirth. Rebirth.
12th is death, and 12th house is where everything goes to die. That's how I tend to frame it. 8th house is your death and rebirth. That's what
Mhm.
you're thinking. That's on the other side.
Mhm.
Good though. Okay, so I'll help you guys out. 11th house is community.
Unity. Yes, 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 yes. Okay.
Community. Remember, work and then community. Okay, so Aquarius though is all about freedom, right? It's that independence, right? It doesn't, it's progressive, it's original. It doesn't like to fit in, like it doesn't like to be boxed in any way, right? So that is the energy of this new moon. It's this independent, like freedom, being progressive in any way, like doing things like nobody else is doing this, but you're doing it, right? It's that energy. This is helping others and fighting for causes. This is the humanitarian sign. Remember, they're very much about like the whole, everybody. So also some of that can come with some detachment because this is an air sign. And this is the air sign that is the most detached emotionally. So from a emotional standpoint, this is really good for us that are, hello, emotional, that we can detach from it. Because sometimes we get, those of us who are emotional, we get too caught up in the emotion that we can't be like, what's the word? The word's not coming to me, but like we can't have that step away from it, right? If we're in it, we can't see everything because we're in it. But when we can step back, right? Sometimes like we step back and then we can see things a little bit different. That's what Aquarius can allow us to do. So if there is something that you've kind of been a little like emotional around or getting like super attached to, and you need to like kind of step out of it, Aquarius can help us do that. So I want you to think about that as, over this next month and with your intention for this new moon, like where are the areas that you may be getting attached that you maybe need to detach? The other thing with Aquarius doesn't like to be like bored. Hates boring situations. So I want you to think about like, where are some things in your life that are getting a little stuck, a little stale? And you need to freshen up because, Aquarius is here to help you rethink that. It's progressive. It's not like if you find yourself in a routine and like that routine isn't serving you, like I just totally shifted my entire routine by doing this new thing. Totally shifted my energy, and it's for a good thing. It's a good reason. I needed to. My energy was getting very very comfortable and very like very Taurus of like going with the flow, staying all nice and comfy. And like I threw myself into chaos because I needed to. I needed to shake things up, right? And that's what Aquarius can help us do and help restore our power.
Isn't
Restore that energy.
Aquarius also like you were saying community? So isn't and also you were talking about the humanitarian, but isn't that also the sign that likes to retrieve? And
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay, retrieve and get like maybe into a book, or like they don't want to be around a lot of people and things just to have their downtime to kind of re-energize?
Definitely on their terms.
Okay.
It's so where Cancer will, like, and even Pisces in some ways, give so much that they deplete themselves.
Mhm.
Aquarius would be like, I'm giving, but nope, we're not going there. I'm done. Give me a break. I'll be back. Like, they have very strong boundaries in that sense, where like the Cancer and the Pisces tend to not. Yeah. Good point. But this is all good, right? Good energy to know for those of us that are. So those of us that are detached, right? This is great for you, because you're like, okay, this is cool. I can deal with this. But how else can you use it? Now, Aquarius is also very, it's an air sign, but it's like the highest air sign. If we think about levels of air, Aries is the most intellectual sign. So it is all about higher thinking. It's not in this mundane world. It's above that. And so we can use that energy to rise above this, mundane way of doing things and being, to step out and change those things. And in a very intellectual way, not in a wishy-washy, but a very like, I can see the vision, and this is why I'm making this decision, right? And so you may even find that you're not wanting to feel constrained in any way. You don't want to be boxed in. Like, you might feel like if you have those limitations or barriers, you're wanting to rebel against it. That's very much a Aquarius energy. So what I kind of see this moon as being, if I think about a theme of this moon, so if we're coming from a business standpoint, I would say that this moon is our community moon, but it's our community in the sense of our tribe, our people, our like-minded, friends, acquaintances, clients, whatever, right? It's this idea of, I am going to stand out in my own way of being so that I can attract those who are attracted to that. So one of the things I heard this past weekend, which was that reminder for me, was that people either love you or hate you. And many of us stay in the middle because we don't want people to not like us. We want people to like us. So what do? We try to conform to, well, I don't want to do this because then it's going to get rid of these people. And I don't want to do that because it's going to get rid of these people. So I'm just going to stay here. But when we truly, and so what does that do? The energy around that, what does that do? That doesn't necessarily make people want to say, I want to join whatever you're doing, Drea. Like, I love what you're doing and I want to be part of that and I want to join you. Or Monique, right? I want to be part of your team because, they're like standing in the middle. Like, I'm not sure if I like her or not. I kind of do, but I'm not sure. Where there's certain people out there, like if you know Gary Vaynerchuk, right? You either love or hate him. He's either so if you don't know Gary, he is very he's like a very Aquarian independent thinker, calls it like it is. He does not sugarcoat anything. He's very blunt, to the point. You either, like, if you watch videos of him, you'll either love him or hate him. And he makes it really easy for you to love or hate him. There's probably people that you, like Oprah, right? She, like, people either love her or hate her, right? She's just grown this massive following and people love her and adore her. There's Trump. People either love him or hate him. These people have made it so clear to us who they are and what they believe and what they stand for, that we are forced to make a decision whether we like them or hate them. And I don't mean hate in a bad way, but like, they're not for me. They're not for me, right? So in order for that to happen, we have to put that out there. In order for us to build the community, the tribe, get the clients, do all the things, whatever it is that we're trying to do, we need to remember that people need to say yes or no. They can't be on the border, because if they're on the border, they're not helping us and we're not helping them. They need to commit, because if they're in the middle, think about this, they're not finding the person that is right for them. I see this in relationships all the time. Like when people start dating, especially after you've not been dating for a while and then you start dating, it's like, if you like this guy, then go for it. If you're like, I don't know, then why are you wasting your time? It's kind of like that, right? Like, why am I going to waste my time dating this guy for 6-7 months when I'm not even sure if I really like him, right? Why would I do that? I am not helping me. I am not allowing the person that needs to be with me to be with me. And I'm not allowing the person that needs to be with him to be with him. It's the same with the people who we are bringing into our community and into our tribes. And this could even be in a friendship area as well, right? Like, we need to be who we are, and we can't like mute ourselves in any way because we're like, oh, well, then I'm going to offend them. Again, they either like you or they don't. And that's okay. I think a lot of us get scared of it. I know I did for a very long time. I've been scared of it. Like, what are people going to think if I start talking about tarot and oracle cards and crystals, and what are people going to think of me, right? Like, yeah, I don't care. Because I know the people that like it will follow me. Like, I have no question in my mind. But that's what I would say this theme for this month is we as business owners, as women, as, family members, we need to make sure that we are stepping out to who we are and showing that to people so that people can get to know us and make a decision about it. So I want you to think about the things that you're doing in your business or in your life in those areas over the next 30 days. I want you to think about, like, when you do something, is this causing somebody to make a decision about me? Yes or no? And if it's wishy-washy, figure out what it is. Figure out what it is. Like, oh, I don't want to offend them. No, the only person you're hurting is yourself and them. Because you're not being real with them. You're not being honest with them. You're being fake. And isn't that something we don't want to be? All right. So the mental energy, though, so our Mercury, and we'll pull this up in a second, is in Aquarius. No, yeah, it's in Aquarius right now. So there is a lot of thinking around the independence and detaching and being of service. Like I said earlier, this is such a good time. Like, if there is any root issues that you need to get down to, this is a good time to do it, because you could do that emotional work and still be attached to it and really get the clarity that you need to release those things. So this is a really great time to do any of that type of work as well. Our motivation, so our Mars is actually in, let me just confirm. Yeah, Taurus. It's in Taurus. So Taurus is very practical energy, right? It's very disciplined, very realistic and committed. So think about this. Think about the theme, the community theme, this independence, this freedom, this building our community by being ourselves and being who we are, but coming from a very practical, disciplined, realistic, and committed energy. That's very powerful. I don't know about you guys. That's very powerful. So let's take a look at, I'm going to move this over here so we can, I want to take a look at this current chart and let's dissect it a little bit, since this is what we're doing now. You guys will understand this a little bit better now, right? Yes, if I can, you're not as like freaked out as before of like, what is all those things? Like, you got at least a little base now. Okay, so this is the actual chart for this transit. Oh wait, yeah. Actually, the time's off by a little bit. But we'll get it. We'll use this as a base. It's more or less the same. There's a couple of things. I think the moon's off a little bit. Oh, see, yeah, exactly. See, so according to our tropical friends, 1021 is the time of this new moon. But look where the sun is. the sun is at 29 degrees, and the moon is at 3 degrees Pisces. So they're not conjunct, because conjunct would be the same degree. So you can tell your tropical friends, no, I can see it on the chart. It's not. All right, so what do we see here? So first off, what do we see? We see our sun is just moving into Pisces, right? Our symbol for the sun. We see our moon in Pisces. And then what else do we see? We see all the other signs and all the other charts, I mean, all the other zodiac signs. But if you notice, because it is the time of day that this is, that all these things are up here, right? But that's only because of the time of day. Doesn't necessarily mean anything more than that, right? It's just the time of day. If we pull this at 2:22 in the AM, all of it would be over here, right? The chart would just flip a little. But what do we see? Like if we look at Mars, where's Mars at? He's right here in Taurus. And he's actually making an aspect with our friend. Do you guys know who this is? Do you remember who this is?
Saturn.
Yay! Saturn. And our Saturn is where? He's in Capricorn. So they're having a nice conversation right here. Yeah. Now we also see these guys. There's a lot of thickness in these lines right here, because these planets right here, these three, the sun, the moon, and this is Neptune, are talking to our friend Pluto. So we've got dreamy Neptune, who is just about to leave Aquarius. And then we've got the sun and the moon in our beautiful Pisces in the transformational energy of Pluto. This is that death and rebirth you were talking about, Monique, right? This is Pluto, and he's in his 8th house, the house that he rules. He's been there for a while now. So what could we anticipate? Now, I know we're not getting into aspects, but what could we anticipate just by seeing this right here with these guys? What would you say intuitively? Neptune, sun, and moon communicating with Pluto. What you got, Drea?
Transformation? Like,
Absolutely.
I don't know, that's what comes to mind.
Absolutely. Anytime Pluto was involved, there's a transformation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's all about. So could we maybe, and then just want you to notice right now, where are those planets at? What house are those planets in?
The 10th house,
Yep.
which is, oh gosh, Capricorn? Yes, Capricorn, which is career.
And what you're known for. So do you see why I made that comment earlier about we need to be who we are in order for people to be attracted to us? For many of us, this is a transformation because we've not been revealing our true selves. We've been shying away from it. We've been on that middle ground, like we haven't been truly coming to terms with like, this is who I am, people. You like it or you don't. Sorry. We've been like, oh. Pluto is pushing us to say, what are you going to do? What do you want to be known for? If you want to be known for that, what do you got to do to change that? What are you going to do to change that? And this isn't, it is, okay, yeah, career environment. So, but it's what you're known for. It's not necessarily your job or your business. It's who you are, right? And how people are perceiving you. That's why I'm saying this is about building that community. We're building that community because people are attracted to us because we are putting ourselves out there. Because we're not like everybody else. We're different. We're very unique snowflakes. But people don't know that unless we tell them, unless we show them, right? That's what this is about. And we've got this energy of Mars right? Mars is our motivation, our will of being very practical. So we're not making this transformation out of the blue just to do it. No, it's coming from a very practical, committed decision. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Any questions? Any questions about anything that I've just said? Anything you're curious about before we move on to our next part?
No, I just recognize that you're talking about Mars. You're talking about Mars, and I'm just looking at everything else that's around it, or where it's at, and that it is in Taurus, and how um, it's firm.
Yes.
Just because it's in the house, or in Taurus.
Yep.
Like I think you had mentioned that last time that we all got together, with something about how Taurus, the changes that I'm going through, or the revealing of, maybe not revealing, but just like the change that I'm going through has Mars there. And so, I mean, has Mars in with Taurus, or in
Yeah.
Taurus, so that it's going to be very difficult to change this. So if all this other stuff is happening, it just seems to me like make sure it's a good change, because you're going to be firm in it, I guess.
Exactly. This is a long-term change. This could be even a permanent change in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And for many of us, it's probably necessary, because we have been stuck. Because the flip side of Taurus is that you stay stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You stay comfortable, right? Having Mars there, it doesn't like it. Mars
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really like Taurus. Mars does not really like to be in Taurus, because it wants to take action and go, and Taurus is like, nah, hold back, buddy. Let's be practical. Like, this is long term here. We're not just throwing things off the radar. Like, we're being cool about this. It's much more grounded. So I can
Such the theme. It's such the theme of not just in what I can look at myself, but it's such the theme right now in.
Yes.
I mean, the big topic right now is like the royals, and it's like, it's such a theme,
Yeah.
Their truth that they need to be truthful about,
Yes.
So it's just interesting, because it's such a theme right now.
Which yeah, and we see this. I'm glad you brought that up. I haven't been following it, but I've heard a little bit about it. But isn't that, you correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that a transformation?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that an unveiling? Right?
Yeah.
We've got Mars, in the 12th house too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
8th and 12th house. We've got Pluto and Mars in there right now. So this is a very big, right? Because Mars is powerful energy. So powerful transformation happening.
Mm-hmm.
And also with the connection with Saturn, very long term. Saturn is about longevity as well. So these two energies connecting, man, it tells me even more that if you're ready to make a change in something, this is the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're ready to let go of some old stuff, this is the time. Yeah. And Pisces is really great for that. Really great to do that subconscious work. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for those insights. Those are great. Yeah. You guys are learning this stuff. I love it. And then see how once you start to kind of get some of these like foundational pieces, you can start like making conclusions about some things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And see how they're playing out in your world and the bigger world at large.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is collective. This isn't like if we did a transit chart, we'd then put this over your natal chart and see how it specifically affected you. That's different, right? This is just more universal, for the universal energy for everybody. This is what everybody's experiencing as a collective. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's move on. And before we move on, any questions before I move on? Just want to make sure. Nope. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's talk about how this particular new moon is affecting your house. What house is this affecting? How is this going to impact you? So I'm just going to read through really quick. Drea, this is a second house new moon for you. Second house is, remember, values, finances, Monique, this is an 8th house for you. 8th house. This is why you you were thinking 8th house probably. 8th house is that house of transformation, death and rebirth. So I find this very fitting just because your lunar return and how that could be changing some things for you. Maybe letting go of some things. Very interesting. Natalie, this is a 9th house new moon for you. So 9th house is the house of higher education. It's the house of long distance travel, learning, books, writing. It's a really good. So this would be a really good time for you to do some writing, even maybe journaling. Zumi, this is a 10th house for you, which if you listen to your lunar return, you're going to see how this is layering very nicely for you. There is some change coming, some transformation in the 10th house. So like even with you, Monique, there's some transformation happening for you, obviously, because that's like the theme, but even more so because it's the 8th house. Drea, the same for you, the 2nd house. This transformation is concentrated in that 2nd house. Zumi, for you, it's career. It's what you're known for, which fits very nicely with your lunar return. And then Karen, for you and I, this is an 11th house, which is the community. This is the Aquarius energy. So this is our time, even more so, to stand out and build our community, our tribe of people, and let go of that which is not serving you around you. And then, yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's start getting into our intentions. Any questions before we dive into what your intention might be, getting some clarification around that? Are you guys kind of good? Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab a piece of paper, your journal, whatever you want to write on. We're going to kind of brainstorm some stuff. Now you can do this by either just answering the questions or mind mapping. Mind mapping is my favorite way to do this. It's just like, the circles with the lines that kind of like attach to ideas. You could just jot things down, list it out, whatever feels right for you. Okay. So first, what are you focusing on right now? What is it that you are focusing on right now? You might think about this from a business standpoint, a career standpoint, a family standpoint, a personal standpoint. What is most important right now? What is it that you're putting your energy into? Take about another 30 seconds. Any last things of what you're focusing on right now? And what are some things that you have been putting off? They're like, oh, I'll get to this, or oh, I'll do this, or oh, I want to do this. Just let those things come out. What are some things that you've been putting off? Projects, opportunities, maybe like research that you've been wanting to do on something, or creation. Maybe you've been wanting to create something. And like, oh, I'll do that later. Maybe something you've been wanting to change that you've been putting off. Like the other day I pulled out the shirt, a t-shirt that I had, and it had like a little stain on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of having like these little stains or these little tiny holes on things. Like, I'm just getting rid of it all. Because I've been putting that off forever. And I was like, I'm just going to do it right now. And I just started like picking things out and throwing them away. I was like, why am I holding on to this stuff? It's ridiculous. I don't need to. So it's like something had been putting off for a while. Like, I'll get to that. I'll do a full cleaning. I was like, nah, I know some pieces. I'm just going to pull them right now. I'll worry about it later, the rest of it. But why not take action now, right? And then what are some new ideas that you maybe want to implement over the next few months? Maybe similar, maybe different. What are some new ideas that have popped in like, oh, I really want to do this, or I really want to start doing this, or I really want to change this. Like I've been doing this way, but maybe I can change it this way. Just take another 30 seconds or so. Any final thoughts? And what intentions or goals that you have set for the year would be amplified or assisted by this new moon energy, by this Aquarius energy? Maybe something you've already written down, or maybe something new. But what intentions, what goals would be amplified by this particular new moon's energy? Take another minute or so. All right, so the last thing I want you to now look at is you've written some stuff about what you're currently focusing on, some things that you've been putting off, some new ideas that have come to you, and some intentions that would be amplified by this energy. Is there anything in conflict? Anything in conflict with what you're focusing on right now, where you're putting your energy based on what goals you have set for yourself, based on where you are going right now? Is that energy in alignment or is there conflict? Because many of us tend to do that, right? I want to do this, but my energy is focused on this. Like, I think I was saying that. I was saying like, oh, I really want to get to this level and I really want to be doing these things. And, you know, like that's where my goal was, but my energy was not focused on that. So what I had to do, I had to put myself in a situation that was going to force me to change up my energy and to see things differently. But if I would have stood in that, I was like in conflicting energy though, because I was saying, well, I want this, I want this, I want this. I want to have this schedule that is like this. I want to have like this. But my actions were not in alignment with it. My actions were very passive. So like look at what is it that you're putting your energy into right now that you wrote down, the first things you wrote down, the things that you're focusing your energy on, is that in alignment to what you want and where you're going? And if there's any conflicts, that is something to be aware of, right? Something to look at, like, okay, I'm saying this, but I'm doing this. I don't know how many times I hear people say that. Oh, Danny, I want to do this. And it's like shiny object syndrome. Oh, so I want to create this new opt-in and then have this course and then do this thing. And I'm like, wait, but you just created a course and you haven't even sold it yet. Yeah, but I'm like, no, you need to sell your course first. Then you can go back and do your opt-in. Then you can go back and do all those other things. But what you first need to do is this, right? Or somebody was like, oh, I want to get, 20 people into my my event. They're hosting like a workshop or something. I want 20 people there. And I was like, fantastic. How many people do you have on a list to call right now? And she was like, oh, I probably got a good 50. I was like, okay, cool. Let's start listing them. And we went through the list and she had 22. She wanted 20 people in her event, but she only had 22 people to call. And do you think every single one of them were going to take her up on that call? No. Maybe 10% if she was lucky, which would mean 2 people. So here she is thinking that she's going to have 20 people. And her goal was like, I'm going to have 20 people. But her warm, hot list was only 20 people. So we got to put things in perspective, because sometimes we're thinking we want this thing, and don't get me wrong, it's great to dream big. I dream big all the time. We also need to be practical and realistic, like Taurus is telling us, right? But we also need to make sure our energy is in alignment with what it is that we're actually doing. Like our actions are actually doing the thing, because both of them, what would it have done had they pursued this shiny object thing or thought about this, I'm going to get 20 people? Well, one, they were going to be upset or frustrated or shamed or guilty or whatever because they didn't sell their course. And now they have this other thing that's not going anywhere. And they're like, what's happening? Versus this other one too, of like, oh, I want 20 people, and then I don't get 20 people, I only get 2. And now I'm mad at myself because it's like, I should have more. I should have more. All 20 should have bought. No, not necessarily. But giving it that perspective to say, this is what my energy is, and these are what my actions are going to, right? So take a look at that. Notice the things that are conflicting, and notice the things that are in alignment. Because I'm pretty sure there's both on there. That's the opportunity to transform. That's the opportunity to change. So by now, you're probably having some ideas or some thoughts around what your intention might be for this new moon. You may be unsure, and that's okay. What I want you to think about, if you choose or you have an idea about your intention, what are you going to need to do to accomplish it? So what are those actions? What are those habits? What is the environment that you're going to need to help you achieve that intention? So if Monique said, oh, I want to get 2 new team members, right? Maybe that's her intention, to get 2 new team members or to hit a certain level in her business, whatever, right? So like, what are the actions that are going to get you there? Like, what are the things that you're going to need to set yourself up for success? Like, is it, having a system to onboard people? Is it, going through and finding out who are your hot potentials, and, who do you need to follow up with, right? Or who is it that's gone by the wayside? Or maybe I need to do some more posts around it, right? Or whatever, like whatever your actions might be. And maybe it's like, you know what, I try to do that, but I do that at night and I'm exhausted from my day. And then you might switch that to be like, you know what, the environment that I'm creating right now, where I have it at night and I'm tired and it's at the end of the day, maybe I do it first thing in the morning and I just contact those people first thing in the morning, right? Where my energy is still higher. Like, I'm just using, random things just to give you some ideas. Like with Drea, with your follow-ups, right? Like, you contact people and you have to follow up with them. You've got leads, right? So maybe it's like, well, maybe I need to get a really good email that, I can use, or verbiage that I can use that's really going to help me with these follow-ups. Or, maybe I go for a walk before I do this because I need to bring up my energy, like whatever it is, right? Like I do my meditation or whatever, like whatever the thing is for you that's going to help you really achieve that intention. Like, I know earlier you mentioned like you've been doing your yoga and everything religiously, but maybe not the meditation. So it's like, well, what do you need to do to set that up for success, right? Like, what could you do if that was something you wanted to focus on? What could you do? What could you do to say, okay, I have this app, right? And I have an alarm that goes off at this time. And when it goes off, I planned it in my day so that I do this, right? Or before I can drink my cup of coffee or tea, like I have to go and meditate, right? Like, whatever your thing is, that's going to help you. Like I get my cup of coffee. This is what I started doing at one point, because I was lagging on it, is I would go make my cup of coffee, and I realized it didn't work, but I made my cup of coffee. And so it was ready. And then I'd like sit down and meditate. But by the time I was done meditating, my coffee was cold. But it became a habit, because it was like I make my coffee and then I go sit down and meditate. So it was a beautiful like attachment, right, to it. But then obviously it ended up working out, because I had to go like heat my coffee up. But anyway, besides that, but do you see what I did? Like the whole purpose of like I do this thing and then I do this thing. So I attached something to it that it made it like, yeah, I want to sit down on my pillow with my blanket and my cup of coffee and my journal and just have like this really nice time. It just was very comforting. Like I loved it. It's just my coffee was cold. So think about that for yourselves. Like, you know, what are these habits? What are these environments? What are these, you know, sometimes it's scheduling it, right? Sometimes that has to be the thing. It's scheduled. And so if it's on my schedule, I do it. All right. And then finally, the last thing. Now kind of looking and having a better idea of what your intention might be, and kind of looking at what it's going to take for you to do that, you know, set yourself up for success. What are some things that might get in your way? What are some blocks? What are some things that like you've tried to do this before and it stopped you? What is that? What are those things? Because we all have them, right? My thing with my meditation was like, well, I don't really have a nice meditation pillow, or, you know, I really have to start my day at this time, and all these excuses. No, I don't need a meditation cushion. I can use a blanket or a pillow that I have at the house. Like I don't need to go buy a meditation cushion. You know, it was like stupid stuff. I think was the other like lame excuse I had. Time of day. Yeah, I was like, well, I can't do it first thing in the morning because I have a lot of energy. And so if I meditate, it's just going to calm me down. I don't want to calm down. I want to have full energy. Yeah, but what I didn't realize that it clears my mind. It really helps me clear my mind, so that I'm coming from not a frantic place, but a like very calm and composed and grounded place, which is such a better way to start my day. You see like how like those that idea that I can't do it in the morning because of my energy was totally conflicting. So think about that. What are some things that might get in your way, or that have gotten in your way in the past, that you want to bring to light now so that you can stop them? Right? If Monique, I don't know if this is a thing for you, but like, let's say you're like, oh, I've worked all day, I'm tired, I don't have time to work on my business because like it's been crazy, right? And so we have that excuse like, oh, I'll just work on it tomorrow, or I'll just do it another day, or I can't do it because I'm tired. Actually, one of my clients recently, she has two little kids, like they're under 3, and then she has some teenagers, and they're all home, right? And so she kept saying that she couldn't work on her business because of the twins, and she kept telling herself that I don't have any time to do this because I can only do it when they're asleep. I can only do it when they're taking naps, and so I only have like a couple hours a day. And it was like, well, is that true? And no, it wasn't true. Then she started making the excuse of, well, I can't go work out because I have the twins. I have to watch the twins. But she realized when her older kids get out of school, they've all been stuck in the house all day. But wouldn't it be a perfect opportunity to put the kids in the twins in the stroller, get the older 2 kids out and go for a walk? Right? They're all getting out. She can get her exercise in. She doesn't have to make these excuses. You know, she realized the other day, like, yeah, I can still write emails. I can update my website while the kids are crawling all over me. What's stopping me from doing that? Like my own mind, my own blocks. So these are important to look at because they're stopping you, right? They're stopping you from doing the thing that you want to do. And you know it's good for you. Okay. We've kind of come to the time. I've given you some space. Lots to think about. But now is the time to come to your intention. And to be really clear, remember, the clearer you are, the better. That's where the manifestation comes, when you're in the energy and you're crystal clear.
So I think I'm going to totally need help on this one.
You
'Cause
got it.
there's so much that I like right now, like when I'm focusing on it, I'm already doing it. So I feel good about, what I think we talked about it last time was the self-care, continuing the self-care and the health and all that stuff. And I'm good. I'm doing it. And we have like recommitted, my husband and I have recommitted on what we're going to do now for the next 30 days and
Nice.
and what we're going to keep and what we're going to implement to keep this moving forward. So that's good. But the other factor, which I think is very interesting, because you shared with me that that it's my values, and this new moon is in my second house, my values and my finances, and that's really where I need to put most of my focus on, personally and on my business side as well.
Right.
So right now I'm going through this program, which I absolutely love. And now I'm at a step of the program. It's a year-long program that really just kind of like changes your mindset of like how we look at money,
Yes.
what we were taught about money, what certain words mean to us. Like when you say somebody's wealthy or rich or whatever, what comes to
Yes.
mind, all those things, those blocks, those things that block you, whatever our judgments are or whatever we were raised on. And just having a healthier relationship with my finances. Right. So there's a task that has been given and I am struggling.
Ooh.
So it really is not difficult. So it's everything that you're talking about right now, as far as like the blocks in your head and blah, blah, blah. It's just so tedious. And it's just like, this is the part that I need to change my mind, have my mindset changed, and like, maybe, I don't know, light incense, candles, whatever I need to do and make it a party when I have to do this task. So that's what I'm attacking right now. And I am struggling with it because I just like, I'm still in that place of like, I can't stand this. This is just too much. But it's such an important part of the transformation or changing my relationship with finances.
Money. Yeah.
So I have been really focusing on the program, but now that I've hit this roadblock with this task, I've really been ignoring it. And like Wednesdays are my day. So tomorrow's my day that I block out, like I block out every Wednesday to kind of really like focus in and do these little tasks and things that I have to do it for 4 weeks.
Okay.
But now it's kind of up to that I have to do it every day for 4 weeks. So it's a lot.
Oh.
But it's important. And I understand that at the end of the 4 weeks, it's going to be great. And I'm going to be able to move forward and I'll be able to be assisted with like, okay, now what are you aiming for? So it's just all these different steps.
Is it something around just because this just came, like, is it something around like tracking your money? Like how much
Yes.
money is coming in every single day?
Yes. Tracking.
Okay.
Yeah. Tracking, definitely tracking, but it's a little bit more tedious. Like I can track money and blah, blah, but
Yeah.
it's like detail. Like, so,
Yeah.
I mean, even to the point where they say, even when you go to the market, if you can, if
Yeah.
you're,
The
these are your,
savings.
yeah, these are your needs.
Yeah.
And these are your
Extra.
like extra that you really don't need.
Your splurges.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I mean, you have to like write everything down, like be completely honest about every single item.
What's hard? What is that? What is hard about that?
It's tedious. And I think you know what it is. It is a tedious thing, but it also is like, oh my gosh, the realization of all of this.
There you go.
You
There
know,
you go. You're scared
because
to see it.
yeah,
You don't want to see
and
it.
you know, it's funny because I'm not like a big splurger, but I do
Yeah.
also like, I think I splurge more on people than I do myself.
Oh, for sure.
And I enjoy that though, you know, like it's, I don't know, like, is that a bad thing? I guess it kind of is. I don't know. But, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
And so I am like, oh, this is painful. I don't know. So
Because you're afraid what's on the other side.
yeah, I'm afraid of what I am and I'm not. Like I'm afraid, but I know it's like, okay, this is good for me. This is a realization,
Okay.
you
Drea, if
know.
you knew that, then you would do it.
I know.
Your
Just
fear
slap
is
me, Danny.
outweighing. Your fear is outweighing
Yeah.
your realization of that it's the thing you need to do. Because if it wasn't, then you would do it.
Yeah.
It's when the fear outweighs it is when we don't. So how can you view this so that it becomes fun and easy instead of tedious and fearful?
Mhm. Yeah. And I guess it is just like, I just need to create the space for myself, like create the space, but then also create the space here too.
Both.
You know, both.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing is after a couple of days, you'll find it easier because you'll get a system in place. Because
Mhm.
right now it's like, oh, I got this, and there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and like I'm
Mhm.
pulling from all these things. But for one, it's going to change your habit because you're going to start noticing. You're like, I don't want to have to write that down, so forget it. I won't do it. Trust me, because I've done that.
I know. It's so bad.
And you're like, oh, okay, I just go here for this, or oh, I just go here for that, or oh, I just look at that, or you like find a way to store it. Like I was putting it in my notes on my phone because I was out and about and I was like at a store, and so I just take a picture of the receipt so that I had it later to look at, you know, like
Mhm.
you'll find your way that works for you. But after a couple of days, it's not going to be right away. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, because it's what I've been struggling with. Like I just started it and it's just like, oh, you know, this is so
And it's not going to take you long. Once you start doing it,
mhm.
it's not going to take, it's going to take you 10 minutes tops.
Mhm.
The first time it's going to feel like forever, and it might be forever, it might be like, 30 minutes or so. But
Mhm.
after that, it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
It'll get easier. And then you'll start to like it. Like, ooh, how much money did I save today? How
Yeah.
much, like every day, because I track my money every day now. So like I know what comes in and what goes out. Like it's just a habit for me now.
Mhm.
And now it's like it's like, oh, I get to see what's going on today. Like I get to see what came in today.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I get to see where did I get to, because money comes in and money needs a place to go.
Mhm.
So as the money is coming in and I'm seeing the money coming in and then I'm seeing that it's going, it's like, ooh, it went there this time, or ooh, it's going to go here this time. And
Mhm.
like, I'm giving it a place to go, because before I wasn't, I was just whatever. Now it comes in and I have a place for it.
Yeah.
And I get to see that every day, like, ooh, it's going here today, or ooh, I get to do this today, like, or ooh, look what I saved here. Like, got money came to me today, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so much as I was like the penny that I found on the floor, right? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, you'll start to change your relationship with it, and it'll start to be fun instead of being
Absolutely.
tedious and ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I'm loving every bit of it, but and it's just kind of like the one place I'm like, okay. But I know that after the 4 weeks, like I will get the prize of like really grasping everything, so that I can reach those goals that I have, financially. And I'm getting excited about some of the things that I'm learning that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, let me let me do this.
Yeah.
And more so just because I've always been, I always have worked for somebody, some company or whatever.
Right.
And so, and like that 401k and
Oh.
what am I going to do with this? And what am I, so it's like, oh my gosh, like I really need to really own this and know this. And, it's kind of scary because it's like,
Yep.
okay, and then where am I investing this and where am I investing that?
Yep.
And so this whole program is like helping me to get to that end goal. So I'm excited about all that. It's just
Yep.
this fourth step that I'm in right now that I'm just like, oh, this is a lot.
It's just a step. That's
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
we walk upstairs.
It's temporary.
Just a step.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. And I think I just, yeah, that's it. So that's what I'm focusing on. And that's the struggle that I'm having. So you were talking about what are we
blocks.
aligned? What are the blocks? Are we aligned? And it's like, not really, not in this position right now.
Yeah. So you need to
So
change your position.
yeah.
Change your position. Find ways to make it fun. That's going to be fun for you where like you get to, put on your favorite music. And okay, so the other thing I'm going to say, finance stuff really is best, especially tedious stuff like that, is best on Earth moons. And so if you want to start it like on the Aries moon, I would highly suggest starting it then. I know like you have your Wednesdays, but Aries is really good energy to just do things.
Mm-hmm.
So I might start it then on that moon. Taurus and like any Earth moon, well, Taurus rules money, so it's or finances, so like Taurus would be a good sign to do like money stuff. But any Earth moon is going to be good for getting into the weeds and tedious little details like that. Earth moons are really good for that. Virgo would be another good moon to do it under. It's obviously another Earth sign too, but Capricorn, right? The 3 Earth signs. So I would recommend that. I would recommend starting it on an Aries moon, which we have an Aries moon coming up because it comes after Pisces, right? So we have it. When is it? I can pull up I made your guys' calendar. I didn't show it with you yet. You should have received it in the email actually, but Aries is coming up on Monday, Tuesday next week. So if you want to wait till then, that might, at least you'll in the energy for it. It'll be better.
So next week, so you're talking about
Monday, Tuesday.
Which is
week.
Okay, 14th,
Aries.
15th. Okay, Aries.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you'll hit in a Taurus. So you've got like 4 or 5 days there of here I can share the calendar with you, but 4 or 5 days where you really are in that energy. So those would be good. That would be good to start it, I would say. Here, let me find my
Are you talking about the calendar?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll see the Pisces moon on the 13th, right? And then what sign follows Pisces? It's a fire sign, and it's Aries.
Okay.
So this right here, the 15th, if you're going to start something, Aries is always the best moon to start something on. And so since it's something like you're really struggling to do, I would definitely, like, whenever Anthony is like, I want to do this, I want to change this habit, I'm like, all right, let me find the next Aries moon. Because he's more likely to stick with it with the Aries Taurus energy than if he goes on like a Sagittarius or a Virgo or Libra or something. It's just, we are better like to just do it when we're in an Aries moon and then stay with it. So look, you got this whole week of good committed energy here. This whole week. So if you were going to start it, then I would highly recommend.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing we didn't talk about, spring equinox, but that's this next weekend, not this weekend. I'll talk about it in a live or something for you guys. All right. All right, let me stop the share. So what do you think is your intention there? I'll give you a second to kind of really get clear on what the intention is.
Yeah.
Let me talk to Monique real quick. All right, Monique,
Okay.
what's going on? You got your intention?
Hi. Yes, I think I have my intention. Yes.
Okay. What is it? You're like,
So I feel like, I have like written down with the new moon energy, what my intention is.
Mhm.
But I feel like in order for that to happen, I need to not let, like, as a leader, not let like limiting beliefs come in,
Mm.
where I like doubt myself, or when we have our team calls and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that I didn't do good, or it wasn't good enough.
Mm.
And I see that I do that a lot to myself. So instead of like being like joyful or like content, like, oh shoot, I did this today, this is amazing, I'm always like, oh, I could have done this better, or I'm never like left having that fulfilling belief in myself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want to, my intention is to not let those limiting beliefs come in, and that I can really stand in that, in those like moments where I can like truly believe in myself and know like, hey, I did good, instead of letting the limiting beliefs come in. I think
Okay.
that is where I'm at.
Okay. So what is the thing that you want to do where you're finding the lack of where you're finding the limiting beliefs coming in?
What is the thing?
That you want to do, or that you're doing, that you're doubting and questioning yourself about?
I think everything. Well,
Okay.
I feel, yeah, like when we have our team meets, or like our group meets, or when I, speak to the girls one-on-one, I don't know why. I think I just kind of feel like there's always that self-doubt, and I just kind of think like that I'm not ever like good enough. And so so I'm always kind of,
So what tells you, I'm gonna stop you right here. What tells you that you're not good enough?
I don't know, just in my mind, I'm like, oh, I could have done this better. Or it's
Okay.
never like this feeling like, oh shoot, I was a bad bitch today, I got that done. It's like, oh no, this is not enough, I need to keep moving, I need to keep going, it needs to be bigger, better, faster.
Okay.
Thing. So
Okay.
like leaving that.
Okay. So what is the thing that is getting most in the way? So when you do your team meeting and you end it, what is the thing that comes up right then and there? And how do you know that that thing exists?
I think when we end it, I want to just kind of like go back, and I just start thinking about like what I said, what I did, was it right, was it this?
Okay.
Did I lead well enough? Like, did I do,
Okay.
all the things?
Okay. And what evidence do you have that it didn't?
I guess like maybe later on when I speak to the girls, I'm like, oh my gosh, that call was so good. Or getting that, I guess maybe like that feedback. Or one thing, I know one thing I can say for sure. So one of the girls on my team, she's in this like coaching thing with this guy. He's from Tony Robbins' team.
Okay.
And so she pays, it's like a lot. She pays like probably over $100 a month to be in his like coaching group, right? And so when she comes to me, she talks to me, and I'm like, hey, and I give her feedback, or say, hey, we can do this in the business, we can do that. She tells me, oh my God, that's the same thing he said. And so I'm like, oh wow, like I do have value, I am bringing value, there is purpose. And I'm like, wow, I have that in me. So instead of always just thinking it's not good enough, or I am not that, when I hear that, I'm just like, oh wow, like, okay, like I'm not
Monique,
after all.
no, you're not, you're amazing. So I don't know if you heard yourself, but everything that you said, when I asked you what evidence do you have that you are not doing a good job, you told me everything that the evidence that is showing you how you are doing a good job. So that makes me come to the conclusion that there is absolutely no evidence that you are not doing a good job. Think about that.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's coming from confirmation or not is another story. But all the evidence is all in your favor. So how many times does somebody need to tell you that you're doing a good job, that you're an amazing leader, for you to believe that that is true? Think about it. How many people need to tell you that? I want you to give me a number. How many people or how many situations do you need to hear in order for you to know, yep, I'm a good leader? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 20? Is it 100? What is it?
I guess like right when you say that, and the thought that enters my mind is like, I'm like, okay, after if I have 5 girls on the call and then the 5 girls are like, okay, it's good. Then I'm like, okay, it was, 5 out of 5, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But it's like, I know it shouldn't be that way because I should know in myself. And I
Of
think
course.
that's where my what I want to declare comes in, because it's like I have to find that within myself, and I know it's
Absolutely.
there, and I need to really step into that and like let go of all the other BS.
Okay, awesome. I love this. So I agree. I want you to also consider this, because we all have this number, this confirmation that we need to have about something in order for us to believe something. For
Yeah.
some things, it's more. For some things, it's less. But what you just told me is like, it's got to be 5 out of 5. The 5 girls need to tell me, and then I know, right, that it's good. Well, if 1 tells me I'm not good enough, if 2 tells me, nope, still not cutting it, 3, well, maybe, 4, nope, still not. But the 5th person told me, oh God, then yeah, maybe I did. Right? So how many times are you going to get 5 out of 5? Realistically, even people that love me to death, I'm not going to get 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. You're right.
I'm never going to get 5 out of 5. There's always going to be one person who's like, Danny, I didn't really quite like that. Or I didn't like everything that you did. This was cool, but I didn't like how you did that. Nobody's ever going to be like, Danny, you were the best all the time, every single month. No, because I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, that's like an unrealistic expectation of me.
Yes. And that just goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this call. Being authentic, being who you're going to be regardless of what's going to happen. People may like you, some people not. We were talking about that at the beginning. And
Absolutely.
That's when it just hit me. I'm like, we're going back to what we were just talking about at the beginning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. So let me ask you something else now. Where are you 100% confident in your ability? Confident in your ability. 100% confident in your ability, whatever it might be.
That I'm not going to give up when times get hard.
Okay. So when you think about yourself not giving up when times get hard, do you get, what image comes to mind? Do you have one?
I was thinking like an animal or something, like
Perfect.
I don't know, maybe like I don't know, like a horse in a carriage, like outside it's raining, it's a storm, and you keep going.
Awesome. Now, when you think about that, is it like filling the whole mind, your whole mind? Is it a tiny little picture? Is it big and bright? Is it?
It's big and bright. Like
big and bright.
See, it's like real. Like
big and bright.
See the horse and the raindrops and everything.
Everything. Awesome. So now I want you to just put that to a side for a second. Now I want you to think about that ability that you think, that old belief that you have about how you are not a good leader, how you're not showing up and being a badass bitch at leading these girls. want you to think about like that. What image comes to mind with that? First thing that's coming up.
I don't know. I feel like
Think about it. Go back to the last meeting you had, the end of the meeting. Go back to that moment right now.
okay.
What do you see?
Like an empty space or something.
You see the difference in these images? Empty space, it's probably maybe even dark and kind of far away and you can't even see it clearly.
Yeah.
So your mind, because our mind is like barcodes things, right? Like we have barcodes on items, right? Like a little barcode on here. It has barcodes. And so it has situations that are barcoded. The way that we change that is we change the barcode, right? If I were to change a number on a barcode for a banana, I changed it and now I got crackers, right? Different. The same thing. Our mind can do that same exact thing. So your mind is showing the things that you are fully confident in as big and bright. And the things that you're not so confident in are coming up as probably distant, dark, and unclear.
Yeah.
And for you, you said empty space. So I want you to take that empty space image that you have of how you are not confident. And I want you to make it, I want you to change it. I want you to recreate it to big and bright. Big and bright, making that image super beautiful because that's what you're all about. And being the badass bitch boss that you are, seeing that picture, making it big and bright and beautiful. Get it to where you're like, yes, this is it. This is that same energy of me like getting through anything.
You know, it's so interesting. It just changed to like a white space now. And I saw like this like majestic, like beautiful, huge white horse with like this like mane. It's just so beautiful. Like you just saying that, that's what just switched in my mind.
Perfect. Lock that in place. This is your new image. This is your way of being. When you start doubting yourself, which you won't because it's over now. But if it happens to come up, I want you to think of that horse and that image that came to mind right now. That beautiful picture. Your mind already made that connection on a subconscious level. Monique, you're doing amazing. And I know that because those girls are sticking with you and because they're telling you.
They are. They are. You're right. Absolutely.
Is there always room to grow? Absolutely. That's the beauty of life.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you learn more and when you grow more, you'll teach more. You'll share more. You'll bring them more up, right?
Yes.
This is who you are right now, and you have so much to teach them. They are not where you are. So you have so much to teach them, and how you do it is how you do it. Like nobody else. You don't have to do it like anybody else. It's your, again, going back to what we talked about, it's your unique style. And people will either love you or they'll hate you. And that's okay. Because those people who love you are like your ride or dies.
Yeah.
They will follow you wherever you go. You have people that you admire in that way, that you will follow them wherever they go. That's what you're building here. So you have to be that. And people will, and if they don't, they're not for you and you're not for them. And that's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Such a good reminder.
Absolutely. Okay, so what is your intention now? Now that we've been through all of that. And those of you on the recording, that wasn't just for Monique, that was for everybody.
I'm thinking, I'm going to say something like, when the feelings of self-doubt come into play, I'm going to flip like my mindset and envision this beautiful, majestic, unstoppable white horse.
Okay. So let's make this positive, all positive.
Okay.
We don't want our attention to have any negative energy in it.
Okay.
And so when you say like when that energy, we don't want to invite that energy to come in.
That's true. Okay.
So how can we remove that negative energy?
So not allow.
You don't want to use that because you're inviting it in.
Okay.
You're still in the energy of it's coming. And so I need to do something about it. Let's say it's not coming at all. Maybe our intention is not to have that energy. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So we don't want to invite that energy in. So maybe your intention is to fully step in to that white horse, to be that white horse, to be in that energy of the white horse, whatever works for you. Not to say like, oh, I don't want my intention is to not have these negative beliefs come and attack me, or to not let them consume me, because all that is inviting that energy in.
Okay.
But to say, I am stepping into powerful beliefs about myself, that is way more stronger, because now I'm inviting that energy in. Instead of saying, I don't want this, I'm saying what I do want.
Okay. Okay, I think I have it.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I'm stepping into my higher self filled with my unique story and power.
Awesome. So I'm stepping into my higher self filled with my unique story
and power.
And power. Okay. All right. So step into that intention right now, as if that has already come to play. That's already manifested for you in your life. You are showing up confidently in your authentic self, in your story, in who you are. You are doing all of that. That's like who you are now. How does that feel? Can you feel that? Like how it is to feel, to be that, to fully be in your higher self. Awesome. Now declare it.
Okay.
I declare with this new moon.
Okay. I declare with this new moon, I'm stepping into my higher self filled with my unique story and power.
Okay. Say it again, but more confidently. Like you're truly owning it now. Declare that, mother.
With this new moon, I declare I'm stepping into my higher self filled with my unique story and power.
Okay, don't read it. Just tell me.
Okay.
You're getting caught up in your words. So just tell me. Tell me what it is. Tell us. We're ready for it.
Okay. With this new moon, I declare that I'm stepping into my higher self with my unique story and power.
Much better. One more time, because you still stumbled up. You can feel, Drea, did you feel the difference in the energy in that? Very different. Okay, let's do it again.
I'm not looking at my notes. I'm like, okay.
I know you are. Don't worry about what your notes say. You just tell us what it is. Tell us.
Okay, with this new moon energy, I declare that I am stepping into my higher self with my unique power and my story.
My unique power and my story. One more time. Just let it flow, my friend. Let it flow. Okay.
With this new moon, I declare I'm stepping into my higher self with my unique power and my unique story.
Oh, see? That was way better. Way, way better. Doesn't matter what the words are as long as you feel it. Yay! And so it is.
And so it is. And so it is.
It has been declared.
Yes.
Good job. Way to go. Very powerful. Awesome. All right, Drea, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to probably need some kinks worked out, but so I have, with this new moon, I declare to confront my financial fears to gain knowledge and power. And so it is.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Because I think you need to say that you need to confront your financial fears.
Yeah.
You need to say that. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. All right. You ready? Okay.
Yes.
Wait, no, hold on. Before you go there, step into the energy of having faced your financial fears, and you're on the other side of it. You're on the other side of the 4 weeks. You're on the other side of whatever. You face that fear and you've overcome it. You are on the other side of it. Step into that energy. What is it going to feel like for you when you step into the energy of having faced that fear and you're now on the other side of it? And it's like, that was nothing. What was I all scared about?
Yeah.
That was easy peasy. That was so awakening. Man, the growth that I have had after these 4 weeks, this realization, all of that. Step into that.
So with this new moon, I declare to confront my financial fears, to gain knowledge and power. And so it is.
One more time, because you were
Okay.
still reading and distracted.
Oh my God.
You felt it too. Just tell us what it is, Drea.
Yeah.
Tell us what it is. That's it. What is the energy? You know it, you feel it, you sense it. Just say it.
So with this new moon, I declare to confront my financial fears, to gain the knowledge and power. And so it is.
Yes. One last time.
Okay.
One last time. Really feel it with power, with everything you have. This is it. Universe, this is what I want.
Exactly. So with this new moon, I declare to face my financial fears so I can grow and gain the knowledge and power. And so it is.
Yes. And so it is. I can even feel your emotion behind that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay.
Spirit fingers. Yes, ladies, super powerful. I'm excited for both of you. And I'm excited for those of you on the replay, even though I haven't heard your intentions yet. I can't wait to hear them. But yes, so this concludes today. This concludes our new moon planning call for March. I do have a couple of announcements. So I'll do those really quick. So this Thursday, I'm going to do a pop-up power hour because I didn't have it scheduled, but I'm going to do it because I think I need it for one. You guys might need it too. To do just a power hour. We're going to go 9 to 11. So feel free to pop in at any time during that time. It'll be the same Zoom link, but I'll send you an email. And we're just going to, work. If you need that accountability, if you need, somebody to like hold the space for you to get some work done, I will be here. And then the second thing that I wanted to kind of just get your guys' idea on is I am looking at putting on a workshop 4 weeks following the new moon. So it'll be new moon up to the next new moon. So it'll be four full weeks. And each week we're going to work on, the whole course, the whole workshop is going to work on manifestation. And so whatever we want to manifest into our lives, whether it be, I was going to do it like a specific topic, but I'm feeling like I just want it to be universal, like whatever you want to manifest. And we're just going to walk through this process that I use from new moon to new moon. So is that something you guys are like, hey, that'd be probably kind of cool? What are your thoughts? Just so that I get some feedback and what you might be looking for, and then how I can tweak it to best serve you guys. Because it's for you guys, basically. I'm going to have other people pay, but you guys get it for free. So, because you guys are my community. But I'd love any feedback. So it'll be each week we're going to go through a step in the process. So it's 4 steps. We'll go through a step in the process. You'll have some homework. It's not like a lot of homework, but it's really helping you learn how to manifest, basically. So if you're interested, what's your feedback? Any thoughts?
Can you share a little bit about like what the structure is?
Mm-hmm. So
I know you're saying.
Yeah.
So
it'll be once a week. It'll be 60 minutes. It'll be here on Zoom. It will be like I'll teach you guys like the first step, and then we'll walk through kind of like some coaching like we do with intention setting of getting like the clarity around what it is that you're doing, ideas, brainstorming for, moving on as you move on through the steps. But really showing you a process for manifesting. That's really what it is. And it's new moon because, right, that's what we do. We set the intention with new moon, but then what happens, right, is like the life gets in the way. So it's like, what's the next step? So that's what my intention is. But yeah, that would be the format, 60 minutes. I'm thinking on a Monday night. I'm not 100% solid on that date, but Monday night, just 1 hour. Replays will be available. There'll probably be some worksheets to fill out, but that's about it.
And then how long would it be for? Like, would it be for like 1 month? Like, let's say the month of April, every Monday, 60 minutes or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that, something like that.
Okay. I like that. I think that would be awesome. And I think it would be great to kind of learn more about that and then have it implemented weekly where we could take the action steps to do it. Because we all talk about it, you know, we
Yep.
see about it on social media, but to actually kind of get a weekly step-by-step, like meeting with you, I think would be so awesome. So I think that sounds exciting. I think it's gonna be great.
Cool. So I was thinking around 4 different topics. Like the first one I was thinking about manifesting clients, like getting new clients. The second one I was thinking about money. And then the third one I was thinking about more, because I'm going to do 3, about more like leadership. Actually, I was thinking about like manifesting the inner leader in you. Because I think we all kind of struggle with that. So, but then I thought like it would be kind of cool just to leave it open too. Like if people just like, well, I'm not really looking to manifest money right now, or I'm not looking for, for clients. I want to do something else, like want my house or whatever the thing is for somebody. So I thought about kind of leaving it open. So I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of playing with the idea, but I just think it would be, but I want to walk through this process, one that I've learned a long time ago and I use. So I thought like, why not share it with you guys?
Yeah. Well, the
Sounds
subjects
good.
that you just mentioned sound really
Yeah.
good because I think that's kind of all, you know, what, of course, clients, we all have businesses, but we're all trying to grow that.
Yeah, that's why I thought of them.
You know, of course, and then it goes with like money, financial freedom, and then that leadership. It all ties together.
It all ties together.
Yeah.
Because those were the 4 topics that I was thinking about, like for people who are building businesses and who are like in that environment. Those are like the 4 main things. Like you want clients, you want the money for the freedom, you want to develop your inner leader, like you want to be that leader, whether it's leading a team or building a team or being part of a team or just leading your own family for that matter, like being the leader in your family. So I just found it felt relevant for me, but but then I was like, well, maybe, so I might keep the themes and then let people do whatever they want. I don't know. Easy to market that way, I guess. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for that feedback.
Sounds good.
Anything, Dre? Anything you wanted to add?
No, I think that sounds good. I mean, I'm all about manifesting, things. And I mean, we're always talking about it here at my house, for sure. So just to kind of clarify and learn a little bit more of how to make that happen. Would be great. Yeah.
There's some misleading information out there, so I want to clear that up too. So
yeah.
All right,
definitely.
cool, awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Right.
So I'll just give you a heads up. We're going to start it in April. That's what I'm thinking right now, in April. So I'll give you guys the dates and the times, but it'll probably be after the April new moon. So.
And then, do you have your calendar? I'm kind of confused. I mean, everything's every day is Groundhog's Day, I feel like.
It's true.
But yeah, we are in it. I'm like, is this a new month? So do you have your calendar for appointments and stuff like that already available?
It should be up. So I'll send you guys the link in your replay email. I usually send you guys individual emails, but I'll put it in there. And then you can book tonight if you want. Yeah. My calendar is all up to date. So I'm good. I do have some sessions open next week. I think the end of next week, maybe like Friday. So that'll be probably the earliest.
Alrighty.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay. Have a good week, Monique.
You guys too. Have a good one. I'll see you.